The hostage situation at the Interstellar Trade Summit had been going on for 3 hours. Warlord Kravex, a 9-foot Apex-class predator from the death moon of Vorath, held 47 diplomats at gunpoint. His species had evolved to hunt the galaxy's most dangerous creatures. Nothing in known space could match an apex predator in single combat. Lieutenant Myachin stood in the doorway, unarmed and alone.
Another negotiator?
Kravex's laugh was like grinding metal.
Your council sends me a child? A human child?
His thermal vision registered her elevated heart rate, the adrenaline in her system.
I can smell your fear, little mammal.
Maya said nothing. She simply stepped into the room and stopped 10 feet from him. The hostages watched in terrified silence. Security feeds transmitted to every major government in the galaxy. Earth's Ambassador Williams whispered urgently through Maya's earpiece.
Lieutenant, fall back. We're sending in the assault team.
Maya reached up and removed her earpiece, letting it drop to the floor. Kravex's predatory instincts sharpened. Something was wrong. The human female stood perfectly still, hands at her sides, eyes locked on his. Not challenging, that would trigger his attack response. Not submissive, that would mark her as prey. Just waiting.
Speak,
he demanded, weapon trained on her center mass.
Beg for their lives. Offer me something. Make your pathetic attempt at.
Maya's expression didn't change. She didn't blink. Didn't shift her weight. For 12 seconds, she simply existed in his space with the stillness of a tombstone. That's when Kravex felt it. On Vorath, predators learn to read prey through 1,000 subtle signals. The tension in muscles before flight, the shift in breathing before attack, the chemical signature of fear. Myachin broadcast none of these. Her elevated heart rate wasn't panic, it was preparation. Her adrenaline wasn't terror, it was fuel. And her eyes, human eyes that should have darted, blinked, shown some sign of survival instinct, held something that made Kravex's own predatory hindbrain scream a warning he'd never heard before. She wasn't prey. She wasn't even a predator. She was something his species had no word for, a persistence hunter. A creature that didn't need to be faster or stronger, that simply never, ever stopped.
You can kill me,
Maya said finally, her voice soft and absolutely level.
You'll have maybe 3 seconds before my people come through every entrance. You might take some of them with you. But here's what you need to understand about humans, Warlord.
She took one step forward. Kravex's finger tightened on the trigger, but something kept him from firing.
We're from a world where everything, the weather, the wildlife, the geology, tried to kill us for 200,000 years. We survived. We thrived. Not because we were the strongest or the fastest.
Another step.
Because we never gave up. Ever.
Another step. Kravex's tactical computer screamed at him to fire, but his instincts, honed over millions of years of evolution, recognized something his conscious mind refused to accept.
You know what the scariest thing about humans is?
Maya's voice dropped to barely a whisper, but it carried perfectly in the silent room.
We remember. You hurt these people today. Maybe you escape. Maybe you kill me. Maybe you make it off this station.
She stopped 5 feet from him, close enough that he could see his reflection in her dark eyes, close enough that he could smell that she wasn't afraid, not really. Her body chemistry showed focus, determination, and something else, patience.
But from this moment forward, every single human will know your name, your face, your species, your homeworld, and we will find you. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe not for years, but we'll find you.
Her head tilted slightly.
Because that's what we do. We track. We hunt. We never stop. Your species might be apex predators. Ours are apex survivors. And survivors always outlast predators.
The 12 seconds of silence before she spoke had been her reading him, analyzing his stance, his breathing, his micro-expressions. Now he understood what she'd been doing. She'd been deciding whether he was worth the effort of taking alive. Kravex's weapon lowered slowly. Not from fear. Apex predators didn't feel fear. From recognition. On Vorith, when two apex predators met, the one who would pay the higher cost always backed down. It wasn't cowardice. It was survival math. Taking this human would cost everything.
Smart choice,
Maya said quietly. She activated her calm.
Hostages are secure. Warlord Kravex is surrendering his weapon.
As security swarmed in, as the hostages were evacuated and Kravex was taken into custody, Ambassador Williams approached Maya.
What did you do? What did you say to him?
Maya watched the warlord being led away. He glanced back once, and something passed between them. Not respect exactly, but recognition.
I didn't do anything, sir,
she said.
I just let him see what humans really are when you strip away the diplomacy and civilization. We're not the galaxy's warriors or scientists or philosophers.
She picked up her earpiece from the floor.
We're the species that survived our own planet. Everything else is just details.
The footage from that day spread across the galaxy. Military academies studied it. Xenopsychologists analyzed it. But no one could quite explain why an apex predator, bred and trained to dominate, had lowered his weapon to an unarmed human who barely reached his chest. Except those who understood, sometimes the most dangerous threat isn't the one that can kill you fastest. It's the one that will never stop trying.